Actually, I have to admit that I'm not in a state to give a class because, in terms of uh, in terms that because I've just now reached from a train travel and somehow I'm giving that class, but I'm not externally. I'm not in a pure situation. So uh, you have to bear with all I'm teaching you NOD and that too about the offenses to be avoided. But I have landed in the situation. Uh, the train was supposed to reach at 4:15. It just reached 6:30. Now I have reached temple. Right. So we'll begin, bro, and we'll finish off this chapter 8 number. Um, and next week we'll finish off the ninth one. So we are doing these offenses to be avoided. And we have done, the first set of 32 offenses, where basically it's been said about that how a devotee should, deal with deal with seva aparadh. He should, be very careful. Because Nam Aparadh and Seva Aparadh are two very big things. In that also, Nam Aparadh is surely a very, thing which a devotee should actually very much be careful about it and should not take the holy name very, casually. Actually, two things which Krishna has awarded us, very kindly. One is his deity, when he appears in a deity form in this world, and the second as a name. And he wants to make sure also they are most potent way of redeveloping or developing our dormant Krishna consciousness back again. Uh, but Krishna has also made it sure that we don't uh, take it casually, take it cheaply, and and just rather than being grateful for it and being approaching it respectfully and very awe with all reverence, we should not take it in a cheap way. Then that is the main thing over here. Is these offenses are not for making people disqualified from getting the mercy. It's not like that. These offenses are mentioned so that conditioned souls should not take it, the mercy of the Lord in a cheap way, and should be very cautious because it's the nature of the conditioned soul's mind is that it take things very cheaply. Whatever is available very easily, readily, in a very ready format, we start taking it cheaply. That is why it was also been said that one should not, be very close to spiritual master also, because they are like fire, and we being conditioned mind, we may take him cheaply. Sometimes in some temples, they also say this in offenses. The third offense against the holy name is to not offend a spiritual, to do not to disobey the order of the spiritual master, and to consider him to be a normal, his body to be a normal human body or something like that, they say. To re-emphasize that we should not take him cheaply also. So then so deity form, uh, the name of the Lord, even the scriptures like Bhagavatam, great Vaishnavas, these all are representation, these all are very helpful for us, to redevelop reawaken our Krishna consciousness. And Krishna wants to make sure that we don't take it cheaply. That's why these offenses are there. Never consider that these offenses are like of elimination round. We have elimination rounds, happens in some of the examination. When you sit in a placement, the company has to take 32 people, and the people are number of people who are sitting are 100. So they have an elimination round. It is not elimination round. It is not an elimination process by putting the offenses, but it is a way to keep a safeguard in approaching the Lord, not to take him cheaply. So now I'll begin. I'll begin means I'll show you, and you can start reading. Yeah. Oh, highlighted. So over here, the last two that we have read also, over here that I'm highlighting one should not fail. Uh, One should not fail to offer some praise in the presence of the spiritual master. One should not praise himself before the spiritual master, and one should not deride the demigods before the deity. So for 30 and 31, I want to say something. Those of you came for the initiation, which didn't happen on GEV. So that day, his grace Shruta Kirtipuru gave a very beautiful class uh, to all those who were getting initiated that day, and or to all of us also who were there. He said one very thing beautiful thing, which I wanted to say regarding that one should not praise himself before the spiritual master. He said Prabhupada always kept us humble. No matter whatever answer you will give to his question, his reply would be not correct. One time Prabhupada asked, one time even he asked, what is the color of the bodily color of the Krishna? So then one day what to quoted Ghanshyam Prabhupada, and he also quoted Prabhupada, you write in the Krishna book, and Prabhupada said, but as usual, Prabhupada said, no, no, not dark mountain, it's wrong. So everybody was amazed. Everybody was giving answer which Prabhupada has himself has written in the purport in his book. Uh, Everybody was, and then Prabhupada was saying no, no, no. Uh, then finally Prabhupada said, "Oh, Krishna's color is like a clear when the sky is clear. That light blue that we see, that is the color of Krishna." So no, so Shrutakirti was giving a purport to it. He was giving many instances like that. He said, Shrutakirti Prabhu said to us that Prabhupada made sure that we never are proud of, you know,
Proud,
proud
proud.
of our, knowledge, and to always keep us humble. That was that was his purport to it. Surely Prabhupada was very encouraging, but we have heard so many instances. But he was saying that Prabhupada never said aloud, never, very rarely he accepted the answer to be correct because he wanted to keep us humble. So, so rather than, so the concept of one should not praise himself before the spiritual master is that we should keep ourselves humble. Not that we go, not that disciple go approaches the spiritual master and keeps on saying, "Oh, Maharaj, you don't know, probably you don't come to our place, so you don't. Maybe you don't know what all I have done and what all effort has gone, in making this project happen." And then the person is saying about himself itself, I did this, I did this. You should know about it. And not a single iota of such thought should come in a disciple's mind, that I have done something. Whatever we have done, is by the mercy of the spiritual master. One should never before feel go in front of a spiritual master and speak praises about himself, or seek his attention in the sense of that he must pay attention to me because I have done so much. That's against the principle of respect. So said like that, let us begin reading from here. This is a list of 32 offenses. Please read one of you.
Abhishek, no, could you kindly read?
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a list of 32 offenses. Besides these, there are a number of offenses which are mentioned in the Varaha Puran. They are as follows. First, one should not touch the deity in a dark room. Second, one should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshipping the deity. Third, one should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound. Fourth, one should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other lower animals. Fifth, one should not break silence while worshipping. Sixth, one should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshipping. Seventh, one should not offer incense without offering some flower. Eight, useless flowers without any meaning. fragrance should not be offered. Ninth, one should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. 10th, one should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. 11th, one should not touch a woman during her menstrual period. 12th, one should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. 13th, one should not enter the temple wearing garments of red or blue color or garments which are unwashed. 14th, one should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body. 15th, one should not pass air within the temple. 16th, one should not be angry within the temple. 17th, one should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium.
Yeah, yeah.
18th,
Okay. Wait,
one
bro,
should,
wait, wait,
yeah.
wait. So no, you're seeing these are the same, these are the extensions of the same one, the above 32, but they're a bit different. They are recorded from Varaha Puran, and these are about the deity. These are in Seva Aparadh, there can be many types that, but the Seva Aparadh majority is considered about the deities. Even the Seva Aparadh is any Seva, if you take it grudgingly or do it, if you do it in a wrong way, with a wrong attitude, surely it is Aparadh. Somebody considers some service to be higher, some service to be lower is different. If it is not being stated like that by the Acharya. So one should not pick it like that. Any services, nothing is high, nothing is lower. Everything related to the Lord is absolute because He is absolute. Om Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnayeva Vashishyate. He is Purna. Whatever comes out of Him, whatever is related to Him directly is all Purna. Uh, So one should not consider. So over here, when the deity has been said, last time I have said to you, over here it is written, one should not enter the temple wearing, garments of red or blue. The mainly reason is this that, that time when these scriptures are written, red or blue color dye was very, very expensive. So this means what? One should not enter a temple wearing very flashy, zazzy, very expensive dresses. That's what has been to say like that. Uh, the one thing is there about dressing sense is very clear that one should not become one should not attract attention towards himself rather than we should be that in such a demeanor that all the people who have come for darshan their attraction should be the lordship. We should go in a humble way in front of the Lord because if one is not because humbleness is required is also required to to have a prayerful attitude, to have a prayerful heart, towards the deity, so that we know we pray to him, we seek his mercy. So it is very difficult if somebody is, and if you are wearing a very costly item, dress, then surely the attention goes on the dress. Then it is very tough. Like some people they come to temple, they wear very in a very posh dress. Then no, then they feel hesitant in paying obeisances to the deities because dress is there. How they can if they pay the obeisances, the dress will be they have and that happens. So it has been said that one of the reasons is this also, and one should not enter the temple with lot of bodily consciousness, and that is why also has been said about not entering the deity. Uh, Actually, the temple. Prabhupada is writing temple. Uh, I would say if these all offenses what we have read is for devotees only applicable, and non-devotees what how we can say that. One should not take silence while worship. No, or uh, I, anything like that. One should not, enter a temple after touching a dead body. Surely, many people in India don't do, you know. But But after seeing a dead body, how many people can avoid it? Even we, I don't know how we, surely in worship we have to avoid it while you're going for worship. So some things are like that, we have to be, you have to understand that and apply it in our life. Surely we should apply it. We should not think that these are anyhow not, these are rituals. One of the problem with intellectual people is they don't accept rituals very properly because of whatsoever reason they consider rituals are for the rituals are made without without understanding the spirit behind it as they feel like that that's a problem for intellectual mind which does not accept which does not accept the rituals very properly and but that is not so good we should know it is coming from scripture so we should accept it and use our intelligence in a way to figure out why it is why these rituals has to be followed not to reject the rituals and become relaxed or lazy in following the rituals so well, one should not touch the deity in a dark room. Surely, if you are not supposed to. Uh, how? Because if somebody is sleeping or somebody, you won't go and touch it. One has to be personal with the deity, but at the same time, one has to have awe and reverence and respect towards the deity. So, these are many things which has been mentioned over here. So now we'll go ahead and I want to get you into the final section. Yeah, bro, read over here. One should not enter a temple after visiting a crematorium.
17th, one should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium. 18th, one should not belch before the deity.
Uh-huh.
So until one has fully digested his food, he should not enter the temple. 19th, one should not smoke marijuana or ganja. One should not take opium or similar intoxicants. 21. One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. 22. One should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. 23. One should not introduce any opposing scripture. 24. One should not chew betel before the deity. 25. One should not offer a flower which is kept in an unclean pot. 26. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. One must have a sitting place or a carpet. 27. One should not touch the deity before one has completed taking bath. 28. One should not decorate his forehead with three-line tilak. 29. One should not enter the temple without washing his hands and feet.
Yeah, so some of them I just tell to you. So um, one should not, one should not, you know, one should not touch the deity, touch the body of the Lord after having smeared oil, because oil is considered to be a impure thing and it gets stuck to our body. And if you touch it with that hand and all, it will also get, into the body of, onto the body of the Lord will also become oily, and oil is considered impure. So that is why you see the Vedic culture, you know, before they take bath, the oil was put, and then after they take bath, like that's been said. Uh, so one should be very careful if he is going for worshiping the deity specifically. And one should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. One should not, think that disrespect also means considering these scriptures like Bhagavatam, Bhakti scriptures, basically, to be as very hi-fi. It is not meant for nowadays. These showing this is also disrespect because if somebody considers it to be irrelevant in today's time. And one should not introduce any opposing scripture. Opposing scriptures means scriptures which oppose the ideas of Bhakti scriptures. One should never quote anything, from here and there because quotes are always there. Charvak Muni principle is also there. Yavat Jivat Sukham Jivat. Take loan but drink ghee. That is also maybe some of the scriptures of Charvak Muni. but one should not introduce any opposing scriptures, which opposing scriptures, which oppose the principles of Bhakti Shastras. You know, because I said to you, the one has to the deity, the name, the scripture, the devotees. One should never take it cheaply. Scripture means Bhakti scriptures. And one should not chew the beetle before the deity. Oh, Prabhupada has said not to chew the beetle anytime, not just before the deity, but anytime. And, we don't do it. Whatever is offered to the Lord over here, the Lord can surely honor it, and it has to. Then it goes to somebody else. And the devotee one should not. Never. Uh, one should not offer a flower. Anyhow, it is an unclean pot, so it's not a problem. We don't do it. One should not worship the Lord while sitting on a bare floor or standing on a bare floor. We should always have a asana on which we stand or we sit and do the worship, or even achman or something like that. Even it's been said for putting tilak. If you're putting tilak, you should have. And if you don't have asana, then there's a way to sit. Bend on the knee. One of the knees one has to bend on the ground and then put the tilak on the that. If it and even for chanting Gayatri, it is there like that. So any either you should have asana or you sit or you are on one of the knees, you bend and you are sitting. Uh, Surely, one should not decorate with the three-lined tilak. That is the upper sampradaya for us. It's like, Mayavad sampradaya for us. So, and one should not enter a temple without washing his hand and feet. We should know that if we are coming from somewhere outside beyond the temple campus, we are entering from outside to the temple. From outside, we are coming inside the temple campus. We should wash our hand and feet. Then, I don't know how many of you do that because we may be coming from your places where you're staying, and we may not do that, but it's not a good idea. We should even when we go out for Harinam at 7 o'clock, come back at 7:30. We do that. So, and then we enter the temple hall. So that's kind of mandate thing. It is not just about worshipping. No, not just about entering the deity room, the deity area, even a temple hall. One should not enter the temple hall even without washing his hand and feet. Uh, that's why in all our temples, almost in all our temples, some of the temples don't have, I agree with it, facility. Even ISKCON temples doesn't have that facility. Some of them. In our temple, surely it's there. So uh, we should do that needful. Not consider it to be just a ritual. क्या जरूरी है? भगवान तो हमारा भाव देखते हैं ना. भाव देखते हैं, but he also sees that this also is a part of a bhav. Where you have to show that you have to show that I accept what are the procedures mentioned by the acharyas before we present ourselves to you. You know. So that's also bhavna. That means a faith. So we should keep it in the mind. So yeah, read now from one of you, bro. What other rules?
Aman Kumar, bro, can kindly read.
Yes, Vijay. Other rules are that one should not offer foodstuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. One should not worship the deity before a non-devotee, and one should not engage himself in the worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. One should begin the worship of the demigod Ganapati, who drives away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganapati worships the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimhadev, and in that way he becomes auspicious for the devotees in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, all devotees should worship Ganapati.
Yeah. One should, must offer, that's a very, actually, sorry, I'm showing you a thing. Yeah. So he has been said that, one thing I have told you last time also, Prabhupada said three things about honoring prasadam. That, over here, Prabhupada says very clearly, one should not offer any foodstuff which is cooked by a non-Vaishnava. You know, means If we can't offer it, then how we can honor it? So that's what's been said. This cooked by a non-Vaishnava is not ideally a prasadam because we can't offer. So sometimes we have that we offer to Prabhupada. We offer to our DT nahi lamination. So one has to be very careful. And I really say when Prabhupada says that if somebody just honors prasadam, his tongue will be controlled. Actually, it has a lot of meaning. It is not just a statement spoken and to encourage us keep on eating, no problem. No, that's just fact. If we make these principles, in our life, that is what we are eating is just offered food, and that food has been cooked by cooked by a devotee, and if it is not on a fire thing, it has not been put on a fire, then that food has to be offered to the Lord and then honored. Right? You understand, I hope. So, and uh, many people can say many things about it, but I would say what is in our hand, we must follow in that. Somebody said कि अरे वो दूध को भी pasteurize करते हैं, तो I don't know, they heat they heat it through machine. So then we are supposed to drink the milk also, not which comes in a packet. I'm saying it very clearly that we know what when we break the things knowingly, which is in our hand. So we should not do that, and we should follow it. That's what has been uh, my. And about Ganpati, Prabhupada is writing, Prabhupada is writing, this is just quoting that one, one must worship. Prabhupada is really right. One should begin the worship of demigod Ganpati, who drives away. And Prabhupada is writing Narasimha is actually. So we don't worship it. We know never you will see in our temples. Some temples might have because of some reason they have put it, but not like a very proper worship happens over there. Not that offering of the food is bhoga is offered to them. Not like that. Uh, we worship the Narasimha and we respect Ganpati and everyone, but it's not that we worship it. That's what I would say to you. Uh, so not that we quote over here, because there are quotes which will also say that Prabhupada says no need of in our temples of worshipping demigods. So we have to be, one has to balance it and understand it, not just take one of the. Satsarup Maharaj writes a very beautiful very beautiful thing in regard to this kind of a confusion which comes or contradiction which comes in reading of Prabhupada books. One, he says that Prabhupada book is the most authentic, then the Prabhupada lecture, then the Prabhupada's conversation and letters. This is the order of priority in which we take his instructions, seriously. Seriously means which is the most priority, which is the most important. Like that, it has to go. And when even in Prabhupada book, if it is written like that, which Prabhupada is away, uh, we have to also match with other statements of Prabhupada, what he is saying about this in other places. So then, surely the lines which is written in Prabhupada book are much more important for us than his lectures, than his conversation, than his letters. That Satsurup Maharaj very beautifully writes for, Prabhupada appreciation, that you can read it. I hope you would have read it. It's a very important book to be read, by all devotees who are reading Prabhupada purports. So this is, and then we'll go ahead now. Read ahead to here. The deity should not be bathed.
Anil Prabhu, can you kindly read ahead? Hare Krishna. Anil Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Other rules are
Uh-huh.
that one should not.
Here. The deities should not be bathed. I'm
Sorry,
highlighting.
the deity should not be bathed in water which has been touched by the nails or fingers. When a devotee is perspiring, he should not engage himself in worshipping the deity. Similarly, there are many other prohibitions. For example, One should not cross or step over the flowers offered to the deities, nor should one take a vow in the name of God. These are all different kinds of offenses in the matter of executing devotional service, and one should be careful to avoid them.
Yeah, so we don't touch by the nail or fingers. No, no fingers you have to touch. But water has to be very careful. If you have to touch, we use the tip of the our fingers, not the nail, to touch it, to check the temperature of the water. And sure, perspiring and all is unclean state because perspiration is an unclean thing which comes out inside from because inside the body it comes out. It's not clean. The body has been impure. And now it's been said also that one should not take the vow for the name of God. So, children in school days, it's very, very, I don't know now. In school days, it was the most common and easy promise to be done. God's promise. But he will not do promise of father and mother's promise. The moment you want to check the boy, whether he's really serious about what he's saying. Here, tell bolo, bolo. ये आपने ये mother's promise. The child will not do. God's promise, very quick. Very quick. He doesn't think so also. So, that shows how superficial training, superficial uh, people have been trained in the current situation. God's promise, जाने दो गाओ भगवान जाए कहीं भी जाए क्या दिक्कत है? So not we should never do that because it is we should not take them as Krishna as cheap. So yeah, now from here onwards, it becomes the offenses against the holy name. Please read through.
Ankush, can you continue?
In the Padma Puran, it is stated that even a person whose life is completely sinful will be completely protected by the Lord if he simply surrenders unto him. So it is accepted that one who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes free from all sinful reactions. And even when a person becomes an offender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, he can still be delivered simply by taking shelter of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In other words, the chanting of Hare Krishna is beneficial for
Yeah, yes, bro. Uh, Beneficial for.
eradicating all sins. But if one becomes an offender to the holy names of the Lord, then he has no chance of being delivered.
Yeah, read.
The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali Kali or Durga Durga and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in persons to the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Seven, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. And it should not be taken that because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reaction. One may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruited activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord. But in the beginning, one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10. Do not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names of and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna.
Yes, desired success that Krishna prayed. So these are the 10 offenses which has been stated over here. And Prabhupada over here very clearly is writing that the seventh offense he has made it very clear that we should not take it that sometimes a person may start doing some sinful activity you know thinking that ठीक है कल भगवान का नाम जप लेंगे ठीक हो जाएगा भगवान माफ कर देंगे not like that we should never that's the seventh offense is quite an offense which is often being done by a devotee it may be like that. So basic principle Christian religion where people go to and confess in front of and then start doing the sin back again. That kind of mentality is very very dangerous. It's like they take it very cheap. Uh, uh, and it's not that should be avoided. So I make you read something now also. So yeah, you read over here. So also small. See, he says this we have read. I don't know whether we have read or not, but I want to make you read. He says, Mama Archana Paradhe Ekritiyante Vasude Maya Vaishnavena Sadate tu Varjaniya Prayatnataha. So this read from here as indicated.
Aradhana, bro, can you continue?
Yes, bro. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you're audible.
Okay. As indicated in 1.2.4, sadhana bhakti is essentially a practiced form of lovingly and continuously keeping Krishna in one's heart and mind. Clearly, a state of mind that is unloving of Krishna is counterproductive to sadhana. Aparadha is the term for such an unloving state of mind. Apa means against and Radha means worship. Aparadham is the state of consciousness that is unworshipful or unloving.
yeah. So I just want to say away. That is why I've been saying that all these what has been stated, actually it's a state of mind which shows or attitude. You know, if somebody's attitude is not proper, then these are considered to be very these offenses are very well considered. So and surely he should not be have a lazy. If he has a lazy, then if he doesn't follow out of laziness, that was a wrong attitude. So basically, aparad is what when somebody has an unloving state of mind. Somebody, it was a very fearful thing for us. Unloving state of mind means what? Uh, unloving means not affectionate, and for us, at this level. So if we don't have affectionate feeling for the Lord, for the name of the Lord, for the deity, for the Vaishnavas, for the scriptures, then actually these are then actually one has to be one may land up doing these aparadha, and also you know and it will create much more unloving state of mind or will become disaffectionate, de-affectionate to these things. So the moment when we commit these offenses, our affection towards the Hari Guru Vaishnavas, the Naam, reduces. You take the name cheaply one day, you see what happens next day. The next day, holy name chanting will be much more tough if you don't reinstate it. So we take it cheaply, it will be very, very difficult. But cheap means, you're not affectionate to it. When you're affectionate to something, you don't take things cheaply. So affection is a very important thing. We should approach the deity, we should approach the name with affection. Affection means what? Oh, the Lord has appeared in a deity in a name form for my deliverance. The what else is required to have affection for it? So we should think that is why we have to hear the glories of the deities, the glories of the, the Vaishnavas. So we are having affection towards them. Affection is a very important thing. Now read ahead. One state of mind.
Continue, Prabhuji. Aradhana, bro. Aradhana, bro, you can continue. Okay, I'll read, Prabhuji. One's state of mind expresses itself through one's inner thoughts and external actions. Thus, an unloving state of mind has symptoms in the mind and senses, and these symptoms are also known as aparadha. In this item of sadhana, Rupa Goswami prescribes that one has to be alert to root out the unloving state of mind by being on guard against its symptoms in one's external service to Krishna, seva, and in one's internal meditations on Krishna's name, nama. In this shloka, Varaha says that a Vaishnava must carefully avoid archana prad, this the symptom of unloving or offensive mentality in one's external service. Jiva Goswami, in his comment on this shloka, gives a list of 64 external actions that may symptomize such mentality.
So here's very clear. So these 64 what we have read is given by Jiva Goswami quoting the and it says it probably may symptomize such mentality if somebody is acting like that, doing things like that. So one has to be very careful. But regarding honoring prasadam or honoring which is not offered, oh, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is papa. So that goes very clear. That is very clear in that state. But other things which we are doing for the deities, one should be very careful. And towards the name, one should not be offensive in the sense of that we have no loving attitude towards it. It's an unloving state of a mind or not affectionate state of mind. So that's what has been said. So these symptoms, when somebody is exhibiting such kind of it is archana aparad or nama aparad. So one has to be careful. Now read these items on this list.
Arjun Sarthi, Prabhuji, continue.
Yeah, the items on the list are suggestions of what may symptomize aparad. Sometimes a Vaishnava may do something on the list without it being symptomatic of aparad. For example, one may lie down to sleep in front of the deity out of great love for him and not out of disrespect. Furthermore, some of the items are culturally and historically specific. For example, G. Goswami suggests that one not wear red or blue in front of the deities. This is specific to a time when red and blue dyes were so expensive that only royalty and the super rich could afford them. Thus, to wear such colors in front of the deity might very well have been, at that time, an ego, egotistical, egotistical expression of self-importance. Today, however, the suggestion may not be very applicable.
Yeah. So it's very clear that from here what you have told to you. So Prabhupada, over here has been said that this is Bhanu Swami Maharaj who's writing it. So uh, sometimes a devotee may do it, but he doesn't have the aparad bhavana. He doesn't have an unaffectionate bhavana. He is affectionate, but situations are like that. Uh, to be very simple to say that, uh, not touching the deity. Usually we don't touch the deity in dark room anytime. It can't be. But I'm saying, towards the deity, sometimes a devotee may come, situations are there like that, that he might have to he might have do something which is not so proper in the terms of these 64 items. But his aparadh bhavana is not there. Then one should, okay, not a problem. But aparadh bhavana means over here is showing oneself very important, not having proper respect towards a deity. Not just by speech, we have to be respectful. By heart, one has to be respectful to the deities, towards the name. So that's why it's been said, over here. A devotee may wear a very gorgeous dress also, may come in front of the deity, but he might not be having such egoistical expression. And maybe he has to go to some place where that requires that kind of a dressing to be weird, and he's going. It should not obstruct him from coming to temple and taking darshan because just he is wearing very, very zazzy or flashy or expensive dress. It should not be like that because in his heart it is very clear. But surely a devotee should not just wear very expensive to come to to come to temple. Not like that. And as a devotee, we should always try that whenever we are coming to temple, if possible, we are in dhoti kurta. That's very now read the essence of Jiva Goswami. Roji, you only contain the essence of Jiva Goswami.
Yeah. The essence of Jiva Goswami's list of 64 offenses is to be on guard against symptoms of an unloving attitude. This unloving attitude shows itself mainly in one minimizing Krishna's importance. This also causes one to distract others from Krishna and towards oneself, and to lack common good behavior in front of Krishna. All Jiva Goswami's 64 offenses can be organized under these three headings.
These three headings means, over here he has said that unloving attitude, should not be minimizing Krishna's importance or to distract others from Krishna and towards oneself. These three one should not have, you know, these three. It's unloving attitude, minimizing Krishna's importance, and distracting others from Krishna towards oneself. These things should never be there in front of the deity and also towards the spiritual master. So actually, I wanted to show you something, but if you have any questions, you ask till now what we have discussed. Anybody has any question you ask, I'll share something.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Yes, bro.
Would you at least see that there are so many rules and regulation giving? Mostly we follow four regulations. We must be focused, but inside that also very deep meanings of the regulations are given. We can see here like multiple hundreds of rules are giving here. So sometimes happen to that these rules maybe following one rule, but it will clash with the other rules, and we don't know, or sometimes we know also, but still we have to do that things. So as you told that, just want to confirm this point that you told that attitude is the important. If attitude is wrong, then automatically you will get the aparad, even you do the correctly also the things, follow all the rules also. If attitude is wrong, but still you are doing some mistake or classes some rule, in that case, aparad will not come, but maybe some, I think karma will get or something like that. So we just want to confirm this point, correct?
Yeah, only yeah, correct you are. Only we should not be lazy or careless. Like we do that. Rajesh Amlu says that in voice, 4 मिनट में भगवान को ऑफरिंग लगा दो, चलता है। चलता है, एक बार चलता है, 2 बार चलता है, नॉट एवरी टाइम चलता है। राइट, वी कांट से हमारा एटीट्यूड से ही हम भगवान को खिलाना चाहते तो खिलाओ ना। राइट ना, वी शुड नॉट रिपीट द सेम। So what you said is correct. Plus, I added this. We should not be lazy. We should not be careless. One should not be, taking it cheaply. Surely, attitude is very important. But we should take care that we are not, disobeying or we are committing these things in our actions. And just by saying that my attitude was fine. No, attitude actually, frankly speaking. Those whose attitude is also proper, na Prabhu. People also understand, ठीक है, he has done like that because of some situation. Other devotees also understand it. So that's I just wanted to keep it balanced about that. Right. Because attitude, anybody can say my attitude was correct. But God knows, Krishna knows very well whose attitude is correct. So we have to be also careful in that regard. They are good. Yes, bro. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Yeah.
So, my doubt is means, especially when we say out Nam Aprad, it is said that Nam Aprad only get eradicated at prema level only. Below that, Nam Aprad doesn't go. But what about Seva Aprad? Means how it got eradicated?
Yeah. Seva Aparadh can be eradicated when you chant the holy name. That is right. Because Seva Aparadh is towards the Lord. Right. It can be eradicated when we chant the holy name. But if we should not use the holy name, we should not commit aparadh thinking that भगवान का नाम तो है. The attitude is wrong. But no, so Tomar Aparadhe, that song sings, huh? We sing that song, Vaishno song, no? That very
हरिस्थान अपराध तारे हरि नाम
Hariस्थane Aparadhe Tare Hari Naam, Tomar
तोमस्थान
Aparadhe Nahi Parupran. So yeah, but the name chanting, offense against the holy name means scriptures, right? No? The Vaishnavas, the holy name itself, and spiritual master, one has to be very careful. It goes very long. Is it okay?
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah. Anybody else, Prabhu?
One more question. Can I
Uh,
ask or I ask later?
yeah, you can ask.
Pooji, you're giving one example in the middle of the class regarding the Srila Prabhupada example that many people are trying to giving the answer, but Srila Prabhupada is not accepting the answer. So he want that devotee should be humble.
That is
So
Harishur Sharif.
just
Shrutakirti proves purport. As it is repeated to you. Yeah, go ahead.
so how to apply in this our life? For example, when we are in senior position or when we are in junior position, so how can apply this point in our life? So
When we are with
can you
other
give answer on
seniors,
that?
when we are with other seniors, we should not speak much, but we should hear much. Try to get the answers. Try to hear, even if you don't try to hear from them, not try to, because they can give you will see better insights. To what we know also, if when they speak, they give a better insight, more deeper insight, because they are, they are living by it, or they have undergone that situation. So they have, so it means that one should remain humble in front of the spiritual master or anybody senior. Please what hear more, speak less. He also said one thing, Shrutikirti Guru, that we should not initiate a talk, you know, when you are with your spiritual master. He should initiate. He said like that. Some of you might be there, I don't know. Was anyone who was there in that class from this group? GV? Was it none of you? Oh, okay. So that's it. So he said, because he said, why? We should not make him as a servant, say something. If he doesn't want to say, chup chap raho. That's so, it's a meaning of a humility. You know, you know. So that has to be maintained. So when we are with the seniors, and in front of juniors also, we should surely share Krishna consciousness, whether they ask or not, we should keep on sharing, but with the attitude of that, I'm over here to share, not to, if you're not spiritual master, there's no point of teaching them, you know, just share, you know, to keep the atmosphere Krishna conscious, not be humble, not that we are deliverer of the people. We're just sharing. That's what is, I would say. Humility is a key
So
factor. It should not be broken.
regarding this point too, one point you told don't initiate the talk too. So that personally, actually, I feel many times. If I did not initiate the talk, there is no talk happening between a long time. For example, I'm coming to temple, but I want to get some hearing, but they will not give the class mostly. They will sit in one
Specifically
place
about
or they
spiritual
will.
master it is, bro.
For
Specifically.
example, other devotees who we want to take association, so we not start the initiative talk. They will
No,
not
then
talk.
if you have taken a time from him, you are approaching him, then he is surely it is expected that you will ask something. You are just going and you want to ask something, you can ask, but not in a way that well, if you want to gain something from that, it's very well and fine, and you can ask like that. Like, if you wish, you can answer this. If you have really not that, like two friends are going, कुछ बात नहीं हो रहा, चलो कुछ बात करते हैं. No, not like that. Not in that mood. With a seated.
My point is that only, bro. That if some senior devotees are there and I don't know what I have to tell, but I just want to hear from him something. Then how to initiate the talk?
If you are in mood of hearing, then it's well and fine.
But how to initiate the talk for this
Oh,
means?
how to initiate a talk? You ask a question. That's the best thing. You should have a question. You know, I was once taking, bringing, received one of proper disciples from Pune airport and he was coming. So he was sitting ahead in the car, I was sitting behind, and some other driver was driving it. So temple driver. So and there was deep silence. I said, Baba, I have to utilize this time to gain something because once Prabhuji reaches temple, it's very tough to get any time from. So I was not ready with the question. Then I started. But I said, if you don't mind, can you answer it? Right. Because he may be tired. You can't instigate it. Baba, we don't know 70 plus means what age. Right. For us, traveling is like an adventure. But it is not so. Huh? Okay. Anything more, bro? Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. I'll want to make you read something. I'll make it bigger and then you read. Yeah, bro. This is additional consideration regarding offenses. Yeah. Yes. So he says over here, very beautifully it is written. Okay, you read. It will be very good. One of you read.
Even though thoughtless devotees no longer taste the potency of the holy name, some of them foolishly argue that they have never made offenses. But the Bhagavatam concludes that offenses alone bar devotees from the ecstasy of chanting.
Clear enough, bro. Yes, read.
If devotees' hearts do not melt while they vibrate
Sorry. Yeah.
the holy name, if there are no tears in their eyes, if their bodily hair does not stand on end, then either they are unconsciously committing offenses or they have committed serious offense in previous lives. Srila Prabhupada's way of testing the truth of such statements was Phalena Parichyate. Judge a thing by its result.
Yeah, so we should never be in the mind, never thought probably the holy name is not working. Oh, holy name is working. And the holy name is all powerful. We have done something mistake. We are doing it or we have done it. This life or the previous life. So each one of us, I should say it's a very good thing. Why I'm making you read? So that you should know, we should know very well that if some obstruction is coming, some friction is coming in chanting the holy name, uh, we should know there is some problem created by me only in the past. Oh, now how much hard you may be trying that day. But mind is getting here, there, and all those things are happening. And what to say about bodily hair standing on end and all. You know, uh, only reason is aparadha. That's very clear. So sometimes we say na, अरे यानी कहानी चपा पानी ब्रह्म हत्याधिकानी च कितना ब्रह्म हत्या किया था हमने कि इतना बड़ा पानी डालने पे भी नहीं हुआ है खत्म. Problem is we 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 are probably we are offering the water to the tulsi and committing of aparadh sometimes also like that. We are not very cautious. Just dal do, just dal do. Not thinking that actually what I am doing it. Not very respectful attitude. So we should never consider these to be, just an empty ritual, offering water tulsi or something like that. Even simple things like that. They are very important, but they are not manifesting their result. Uh, One of the prominent reasons is written over here. We might have committed serious offenses in this life, previous life, or we are committing it now. So we have to check our attitude. If you check your attitude honestly, we'll figure it out. Many problems, we arise it in our life right now also. You know, if uh, if we are hearing a class, suppose from some devotee, and he says, "क्या बोलता है ये?" YouTube पे you are hearing something like that, and you say like that. You're very careful. Better you don't hear. Why to come and say it like that? Why to think like that? So it's also an offense. Read ahead, for example.
For example, when asked whether the fall down of devotees meant that they did not want to love Krishna, His Divine Grace gave a resounding yes. All living entities have free will. If they remain in the Lord's service, it is because they want to love Him. And if they leave His service, it is because they no longer want to love Him. Similarly, offenseless chanting means devotees will experience ecstasy. If there is no ecstasy while chanting, then devotees may assume their chanting is offensive. Why argue that despite one's offenseless chanting, one is not feeling ecstasy? You must judge a thing by its result.
So probably somebody fall down in the sense that it gives up bhakti and goes up. That's the meaning of fall down. Abhisek Sudha Duracharo, we should always remember that. So, it has been said that if somebody reinstate himself very quick, not been said 3, 4, 5, 6 साल 8 साल के बाद नहीं. Very quick. He realizes it very quick, maybe fraction of second, maybe fraction of minutes, maybe some hours, maybe some days. That's it. Very quickly he reinstates himself. So that to the pure devotional service. So no, he's not considered fall down. Fall down means he gives up bhakti for a well considerable time. And that is because he didn't want to love Krishna. Because that maybe maybe arising that kind of attitude because of offensive behavior towards the Vaishnavas and all those things. So yeah, we should never think.
You should never think, however, that the Lord's eternal associates suffer reactions to offenses or past sins. Krishna stages events such as the Pandavas' exile and their subsequent participation in the fratricidal war for the good of future devotees and of humankind. But to speak of the Lord's eternal associates, even devotees at the stage of steady practice are freed from reactions to past deeds, prarabdha karma. If they seem to suffer, it is because Krishna has personally arranged sickness, poverty, or conflict in their lives as part of his pastime in order to bring them closer to him. Srila Prabhupada was very fond of quoting the following verse to explain why he went through so much tribulation in his household life. He said that Krishna wanted him to give up family life so that he could be free to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world.
This is the yes,
Uh,
Ishita
please.
Dharmane. Tato Tato Dhanam Tyajanti Yasya Swajana Dukkha Dukkitam. Yeah, that's the. So here, Prabhupada, read the translation.
The personality of God had said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another.
Yeah, so we should never consider that any devotee is undergoing a problem, or something like that. Uh, he is suffering his karma. No, not like that. Even if he said once one who has chanted holy name offenselessly, his all his karma of the past is destroyed. So surely we have chanted once at least. At least the first name that we chanted in sitting in a device class maybe. And that was at least offenseless. So all are done, past, gone, for sure. Uh, but there are some traces may remain in the sense that because some traces even goes to the love stage, then what to say about, this stage. So some traces we might have committed some very grave Vaishnava offenses, maybe, harming a Vaishnava, physically or something like that. Uh, so that will remain. But majority is gone. But we keep on committing. We keep on committing. A devotee who is not at a steady state of devotional service, his lot of friction happens with his mind and senses. Mind keeps on thinking bad about others, very naturally. So it is not counted, but as mind is thinking bad about somebody, it will appear in his attitude and his behavior. Attitude to is that is what his behavior also it will come. So one has to be very, one has to think that I surround myself in a situation, in a mental situation that I don't commit aparadh. Aparadh is something because Krishna will not allow us to take any gift that he has given us cheaply. So here he says, devotees who do not see symptoms of ecstasy in all advanced Vaishnavas sometimes ask, why does prema sometimes not manifest itself in Krishna associates or in worthy devotees? Right? No? Like, I can say to you, none of you would have seen uh, any of our very great spiritual masters in our movement manifesting some Dayanam Kaludashrudharaya, Vananam Gatakadatataya. So, somebody, like new boys, so they ask also, especially when they hear some, you take them to some yatra and they hear that, some previous acharyas like Ramanujacharya or other Sampradaya acharyas also, or Madhvacharya, so many things he has shown. Why they don't show it like that? So, okay, read away, but let's see what it says.
Just as fruit-bearing trees display fruit in the proper season, loving devotion bestows prema on devotees at the proper time in their spiritual journey. Even though pleased with an offenseless person, the holy name reveals its mercy by his own sweet will and in his own sweet time. The heart freed from the burden of bad habits surely receives love of God when it is bestowed. The waiting only serves to make that day more delightful.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's so I just quote, whether I told you or not, Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, as such, if you read his life story or you ask from devotees, he would cry in the, in the holy name chanting sometimes while he's doing kirtan, but not very. But when he was on the last days of when he was about to pass away from this world, just few days back, when he was about to pass away, the one Barsana Dham, not this Barsana Dham, Barsana Dham, really, no, no, one pujari of that Barsana temple has gone with the Radharani's garland, uh, at New Gita Nagari farm, which is in West. So, and and somehow I heard that the devotee was not knowing that Maharaj health was bad or something. He was going somewhere else and he landed up here over here because of some reasons in the New Gitania, and then he could understand that why, Radharani has made me landed over here, because she wanted this garland to be offered to his devotee, Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. So that devotee was doing kirtan for Maharaj. And Radhanath Maharaj was there in that class, not class, sorry, was there in that room when that Barsana Dham devotee was doing kirtan, and Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was on his bed. You would have surely heard the lecture, Remembrance, the glories of His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj by Radhanath Maharaj, if you have heard it. If you've not heard, please just my recommend hear it. You understand what does it mean that a devotee, the holy name reveals his mercy by his own sweet will and his own sweet time. You will understand it. So over there, the Maharaj in one of the lectures says that His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was wailing, not crying, wailing by hearing the holy name for half an hour. So Maharaj was, Maharaj in his humility was saying, I have never seen such ecstasy which he was manifesting. Uh, so So you can think about it, that a lot awaits for them because I can just add my own thing why it happens because such Vaishnavas the Lord want that they should go out and do much for me. If they start relishing right now this prema, then maybe it will be very tough for them to go out and preach. Maybe like that. So we should not consider it. So just read this. There are some of the forms. Read just and we'll end away.
There are some of the principles underlying the science of offenseless chanting of the holy names. Although our acharyas have given many guidelines on how to achieve perfection, devotees sometimes question the need to know and systematically apply these details of devotional service. Some devotees argue that a minimal effort to chant Hare Krishna will automatically bring them to the perfect stage without further effort or study.
So anyhow, so I just just read it so that
Yeah, this common misconception arises from misreading of a phrase Srila Prabhupada often used, automatic advancement. He writes, when a devotee revives his life of loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it should be understood that he has been successful in achieving the desired goal of his life. At that time, everything is automatically done by the mercy of the holy name, and the devotee automatically advances in his spiritual progress.
Yeah. So automatically happens after a certain stage, after Nishtha, specifically. Before to that, there are a lot of endeavor has to be put. So to think the term automatic advancement means that a devotee need do nothing. People think like, but mechanically follow the routine of devotional service to achieve the perfection is to ignore the teaching of Guru Sadhu Shastra. Devotee who have been deluded like this, they ask, why should we know about anarthas, offenses at the stage of devotion? Simply by chanting, everything will be done. क्यों इतना करने का? That's not proper. So that's not proper. I'll not complete. I'll not go ahead. But that's not proper. One has to do it. Automatically happens after a certain stage. Before that, one has to endeavor. So just wanted to show to you. I end over here. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week. Next week we'll complete the 9th chapter, and that will be end of my part with you. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Guruji.
thank you.
Hare
Yes. Hare Krishna.